Hey guys, welcome to Lovecast the BL podcast reviews. I'm your host Alexa, and with me are my fellow hosts Pixie and Kayla.
Hey.
So today we are finally doing our promised review from our Thailand trip Kickstarter streamathon, which we had you guys vote over on social media. You guys wanted to see us review a classic BL, and that classic BL that you voted on was SOTUS. So today we'll be reviewing probably the most, I guess, iconic Thai BL that is out there,
True.
most well known probably, and that is SOTUS, a series, which aired in 2016, I believe was the original air date. It also got a second season, but this review is just going to focus
Yeah,
on the
we're
first
not talking about
season.
season two.
Yeah. Yeah,
No.
so it aired in 2016. It was 15 episodes, which I did not remember it being that long. And it obviously aired on GMMTV, which you can still go and find the episodes on the GMMTV YouTube channel. But to give a little summary, it tells the story of Kong Pop and Artit. Kong Pop is a freshman in engineering. And basically at that time, the SOTUS system, which is like basically like the engineering faculty's hazing system, was very popular. It's like a big part of the engineering, like kind of looking up to the seniors and going through that hazing. But Kong Pop, who is played by Singto, is kind of against the whole system, and he's kind of the one person who stands up to the hazers, and the head hazer is Artit, who is played by Christ, who is obviously not a fan of one of the freshmen standing up to them in that way, and that kind of starts this whole push and pull enemies to eventual lovers relationship between them, and then you get SOTUS, which is what it is. um,
Yeah.
yeah, so funnily enough, the other show that almost won this poll was Addicted Heroin, which is like a really old Chinese BL before censorship got rid of all of the BL elements in
Yeah.
the Chinese dramas. And it's definitely a show. So I will say I think I'm a little bit happier to be reviewing SOTUS as opposed to that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on Viki now. Interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Um,
It is. Just like if anyone wants to go watch that one, it's not complete.
yeah, there were like episodes
Right.
that they ended up cutting out, I think. Um, but yeah, that
It's
being
called
said,
Addicted. Yeah.
it's just code addicted. Yeah. I am on the record. I'm pretty sure I've talked about it on this podcast before of feeling like SOTUS did not really stand the test of time in terms of like media quality. So I definitely
Yeah.
respect it as like literally like the pioneer of Thai BL. That and Lovesick are like the two pioneers of the Thai BL industry and have done a
Yeah.
lot to grow the industry.
Yeah.
But if
I
I went
mean,
back and rewatched it now, I do not enjoy it. And I really enjoyed it at the time, but it just like did
yeah.
not hold up for me, I feel like, over
I
the
I
years.
I think like SOTUS is one of those shows that you kind of need to judge by the time that it was released in.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Definitely.
There wasn't a lot of awareness around hazing at that
Yeah.
time. Like it was an acceptable thing happening in school. And I think SOTUS was a big help in making people understand that this is not okay. Like whatever happened like in season 2, him becoming like the main hazer and all that crap, like it's everyone watched SOTUS and agreed that that hazing thing is bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely very 2016. And I do think that in general media and Thai media has taken a different view on hazing. And I think that I do appreciate that, you know, the way it was viewed in SOTUS was generally Compop like standing up to a lot of the like outdated traditions and not agreeing with him. But yeah, then like going on to become the head hazer in season 2 was like a whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very 2016, and so I think it's hard to like go back and like rewatch clips and rewatch recaps and stuff like that and kind of not get caught up in it. But I know at the time it was like for a lot of people one of the first Thai BLs I watched, and at the time I was really into it. I was really excited for the prospect of it getting a second season. But yeah, I just like I don't know, the fond memories that I had of it I don't have anymore, I guess.
Yeah. I will say, like, the one thing that I think SOTUS has, like, really going for it is the setup of the show. Like, there's a lot of people in the show, women and men, like we talked about in the Bechdel test episode. Like, this is one of the shows that actually have women who have their own thing that doesn't involve the guys. And it's there's a huge amount of people in it, and a lot of people that you forget is even in it, but because it's so big. But they're not there just to be like a romance thing. They're there because people are there, like people are in the world, so they have their own stuff going. And I'm so sad that the BL industry in Thailand has moved away from doing it like that, because I think like it lends more to like the world around you when you have like in general like people who aren't just like romancing around you.
Yeah, I do agree that like the friend group and the general like cohort, I guess, of people that they hung out with was very diverse. I mean, there was more than one token female character. You know, we had a queer female character, albeit like a very small mention. And yeah, it's interesting to see how we've kind of gone like almost backwards in that regard of having like these dynamic friend groups compared to before. But that's definitely one of the things that I think has stood over time with this show is like a lot of diverse characters and a diverse friend group and that kind of stuff throughout it. Yeah.
What are the side couples in SOTUS? I can't.
There was New's character and the girl May, who was played by Neen. New's character was M, and Neen was her character, or Neen is the actress. The character's name is May. Yeah. And then there was Gunsmile and Fluke, played Prem and Wad as like the third-ish couple. But I think that one kind of never got confirmed because Fluke, another Fluke, not like Until We Meet Again Fluke, or but he ended up not being in the second season, so the ship kind of the pairing kind of like
fell
never
out.
Got confirmed. But they were a really popular side pairing. But they were the two main ones that I remember.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of like, I just have my drama list up here. Like New was in it, Gunsmile, Off, Jan, so many like big GMMTV actors were in this. And like
the whole staff, like the whole actor staff. It's literally
their whole acting roster.
For real. It's like Domundi with Why Are You when they put everyone in the show to promote them. That's what SOTUS
but
is
Domundi, they tried to put everyone in a couple in that show.
True. Very true. I do remember there is a love triangle sort of with Kung Pop, May, and M. But I will say that I feel like it made a lot of sense because it was just May misinterpreting Kung Pop's being nice to her. Like he was just like a nice person. So it wasn't entirely a love triangle. And I do feel like M and May, like their relationship progressed. Like it made sense. It was cute.
Yeah. I remember liking that pairing a lot at the time. And I liked them as like the main secondary couple in the show. But
I liked May as a character was great. I like it. That's like of all the characters, May, Kung Pop, and Arctit are the main characters that I actually remember and can tell you the name of.
Yeah.
So Yeah, and I haven't rewatched it since I watched it the first time, and it was one of the first ones I watched when I got into Thai BL.
Mm-hmm.
But I still kind of remember that. Like it puts, like, it's very faint, but it like makes an impression.
Yeah.
And I think one things that makes a really big impression from the show is the pink milk.
God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Even on our
focus
merch.
so much.
The BL icon is
Yeah.
Pink Milk is the BL icon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that and like the engineering gears got really big, like the gear jewelry and stuff because of SOTUS.
The necklace, like sharing your
mhm.
necklace. Yeah, dude, that is like the most romantic thing ever. Like
Giving someone your engineering gear.
like,
You know,
why don't I have that? Why haven't my boyfriend given me some, like, his screwdriver or whatever?
Oh my. Oh my God.
But that was so romantic, like, literally.
oh my god.
That's so funny. Yeah, those like the romance and ambience of those gear tying scenes where they're like on the beach and they have like the lighting and they like kind of step away to like exchange their bracelets. Like there were some really good like romantic moments in that show. That like really I was like such a big, like I would like gif clips of it like when I was watching it originally, and I think I did like gif the moment of them like exchanging the gear bracelets and stuff like that. So and they had a classic guitar moment where they sang on the rooftop. I remember giving that one. Like,
Of course, it's GMM TV. They can't make a show without a guitar in it.
this was the originator of every BL trope, good or bad. It originated in SOTUS pretty much. The engineering, the guitars, like it's all because of SOTUS. So feel good or bad about that, whichever way you feel. But yeah.
I do think that my opinion on SOTUS was very much like there's not a lot of shows to watch. So I'm gonna watch this, and my coloring of the show kind of is affected by not having a lot of shows to watch and just feeding on it, because if I watched it today, I know I would get caught up in the whole, like, Artet is like a terrible character. Like, he is so fucking annoying.
I have a lot to say about that.
Isn't that one he was on your list of most hated characters, wasn't he, Kayla, when we did that episode?
I might have completely forgotten about him, but I almost feel like I had a completely different fandom experience of SOTUS than you guys did. Because I remember, I mean, my biggest problem with SOTUS has always been the positive spin they try to put on hazing.
Put on the hazing.
And of course that affects Kung Pop's relationship with Artet, him being like the head hazer. But I remember in one of my unpopular opinion videos, I publicly declared not liking Artet. And people like ate me up in the comments. Like,
Wow.
One of the most, probably out of all those videos, the most hate for an unpopular opinion was me saying that Artet was a bully.
Wow.
He is.
That's literally his character arc.
Like, his character's trash. You can't, like, act like that and just like, oh no, he's actually pretty sensitive. He didn't want to do it.
And you know what? I started to gaslight myself because I was like, well, maybe I misinterpreted his character.
No,
maybe I didn't give it a chance because he has some like internalized homophobia going on. But like years later, I'm sitting here and I'm like, past me was right. Like, past me snap. That was true. Artet is the worst character. And I still don't understand why Kung Pop liked him, other than maybe he likes to be degraded. Like,
I don't get
right. That you're onto something.
Kink discovered. But yeah, I will never get the bully to romantic interest pipeline,
No.
especially when said person who was a bully never really shows any interest in the person. Like, I feel like my problem with Artit is that even throughout the whole show, first season mainly, he did not ever seem like he was genuinely interested in Kong Pop. Like, I don't know. I just never felt that he.
It feels like when your children are like, "Ooh, you can't like touch a girl for cutie, like you get cuties or whatever." Like it kind of feels
Oh
like
my
that
God.
with Artit.
And the worst part is that carried over through the entirety of season 2. Like he still was acting
Yeah.
like he didn't even
I-
like him.
I could not watch season 2.
Season 2 made me so mad, but we're not going to talk about that right now.
Yeah.
It's a different review that you guys can give us more money for.
That's, yeah, I've always had, my biggest gripe has always been the hazing with
Yeah.
SOTUS, because it's like we said, like obviously hazing is not a good thing, but the way that it puts Artit's
They try
character
to
in like a position of
justify it.
power is like,
Yeah.
I don't know about that. And then like soon after that happened or that series came out is when a bunch of universities in Thailand started abolishing the SOTUS
Yeah.
like hazing, because there were so many accounts of like physical abuse and even like sexual assault associated with it. So I'm kind of like, they were really trying to normalize this, and yeah, it made sense for the time, but it's just wild to look
Yeah,
back on.
but it's like if you're gonna show, like this show started becoming really popular with an international crowd, and international crowd will see that this is shit because they are not like used to it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we reacted right away. Even if you try to put a positive spin on it, it's not gonna look good
Yeah.
to us. And
think
it's
especially,
like that
like-
with American shows as well.
Yeah.
When you like they have the hazing and
That's what I was gonna say, because
Yeah.
especially coming from America, hazing has already had a generally bad rap for long before as much as it does still happen to this day. But like the general feelings about hazing and the extent that it can go to have been negative, coming from like, and I was in university at the time. I couldn't remember when it aired, when I graduated from university, like in the time that SOTUS was airing, and like the general feeling around like hazing on like, especially like thinking about my own university and campus and stuff like that, had already been really negative for, even before that. So I think generally, like from a Western perspective, we kind of already came in with a negative view of what hazing is. And I know like our hazing is different from the hazing in Thai university culture to some extent, but yeah, I think it was hard to watch the way it was portrayed, kind of going in with my own views of like hazing and knowing what it can be.
I kind of feel like the author of SOTUS was kind of trying to work through some trauma by writing that story. Like it's just a trauma dump and trying to justify like all the shit she's gone through by writing it, like making it seem better.
You know what? An interesting detail about SOTUS that I don't think a lot of people know is that Singto was scouted for that series while he was a hazer in university, and a photo of him went viral in one of those cute boy Facebook pages. So it's interesting that like
photo
his
of him,
real life carries into that.
Yeah. I will say, like, for a positive thing, like I think Kong Pop as a character is really well written and good. Like it kind of somehow made up for Artit being like trash. He's kind of Artit kind of like took the shine of Kong Pop and just like it was okay.
It's okay.
But if you were just watching like Artit alone, like it's trash.
I also think that I've been on the record before also saying that I don't enjoy Chris as an actor. So I don't know what the script looked like, but I just think like he was not giving emotions as Artit.
No.
And I'm sure that's how it was written, because I guess Artit was supposed to be like an emotionless person for the most part.
Yeah.
But yeah, like having Artit played by Chris, who like you know, and then like having Singto playing like Kong Pop, who was like already like
Singto,
a better written
he
character
felt like
and
Kong Pop
a
was
good
just
actor.
like in it, like he was emotionally in it from the beginning, and then you have just Arthead who's not there
One
at
expression.
all.
Only knows how to yell. Yeah.
And there's no way you can make that character a redemption arc. There's no redemption.
Yeah. And this series, if you are going into it and think there's going to be any lovey-dovey moments between them, they show zero affection and then have one kiss at the end. So
Imagine like watching Kim Porsche or something and then going to watch SOTUS and just like,
This man does not want to be within 10 feet of Kong Pop. Like, how are they a couple?
Please, Kong Pop, leave him.
oh,
That was me through the entirety of season 2. I was just like, leave his ass, leave his ass, leave his ass, and then he didn't.
Just stringing him
He went to
along.
study abroad in their Our Sky episodes. And that was like, I think that was the most affection they ever showed was in their Our Sky episode. They had a decent kiss scene in the airport there. But like, that's not even the main series. So like, it was not giving the romance that people might be expecting it to give.
Yeah,
But,
and I sort of feel like anyone who knows anything knows that like Chris has gotten like some pushback because he's done some stuff that might have been homophobic or misunderstood, whatever. But I think his acting in SOTUS did not help.
Oh, no. Yeah, exactly. Because, you know, there was these, like, there's alleged, like, comments that people were reading as homophobic in real life, and then him looking like he'd rather be anywhere else on screen in his BL series, like, did not help. Like, and you know, there was a lot of sides to the whole Chris debate and, like, you know, what he did and what he said and, you know, that kind of stuff. But yeah, like the way he acted on screen, like, and like I said, like you could say, you know, that's how he was written to act emotionless. But I just don't think it helped his case at the time with, you know, what he was going through in real life. But yeah.
But like his character, okay, so he's supposed to be emotionless and the big bad bully Hazer in the beginning, and it's gonna be like a revelation that he's actually very soft and cuddly and drinks pink milk and he's very like sensitive and stuff. But where's the sensitive side when you're in a relationship? Like he's supposed to be portraying like a really like loving character, and he doesn't at all. Like, where's the switch? It's supposed to be like a big woo, he's actually very soft kind of person, but that doesn't happen. He doesn't have any emotions even when he like the big reveal happens.
Yeah, I don't know, like, he was meant to be like a tsundere character, but I don't know. I do think, like, generally one of the traits of the tsundere characters is that they do have, like, that hidden soft spot that, like, they only show to their love interest, and I feel like we never really got that.
But they're literally alone half the time, and he's not, like, even touching him. It's just like...
he acts pained to be showing any kind of affection with him. Yeah, I don't know. I think I definitely, like, looking back on it, I feel like I really was, like Kayla said, gaslighting myself to find it to be good at the time, because I'm like, what was it giving? But yeah, like, we didn't have anything else to watch then, so like
and I think like the whole setup of the show kind of helps it to be more likable. Like, you have all these characters, all these stories. It feels like a world, right? It's not just them, it's a whole thing, and it sort of gaslights you into believing that it's a good thing.
I don't know, like I said, like I understand its iconic status, but I think if someone were to ask me, like, what's a good BL to start
I would never recommend SOTUS.
I would not recommend SOTUS. And I think that it still kind of holds that place as like one of the shows you recommend to people, and I just don't understand why. Because I think there's a lot better things that are representative of the genre now.
Yeah, you will never get me to recommend SOTUS ever. Like genuinely, I will never recommend anyone to watch SOTUS because I think it's gone past its prime. It's outdated, and no one will get the same enjoyment that we had when we first watched it because we're past it. There's been so much. There's been so much development in the BL industry that it's so outdated that you can't even, like, you should just find clips, edits, stuff like that, because I promise that will be great.
Read some fics. Fics will make their relationship better than the show itself could. But yeah, I don't know. I know there's a lot of love for the show out there because of like its historical place in BL, and I don't want to take away from that or downplay that. But it's
put
just
it on
like
a shelf and just
look
at it from afar.
Enjoy it on the shelf. Let it keep its status there. It doesn't need to be taken down.
It
Maybe
doesn't need to be flipped
dust
through.
it every once in a while. But yeah.
Yeah. I will say, like, I'm really interested in reading the manga they made.
I have it. I have it on my desk right now. I bought it. Do you want to see it?
I hate you.
It's behind my shit. Like, I bought this because I wanted to have it as like a collector's item, kind of. Like, I haven't even read it, and it's interesting, you know.
I love the art style. I really love the art style.
I do too. I'm gonna read it. I hate this saying on the back though. It says, "I'll make you my wife."
Oh yeah,
very.
Yeah.
That points to it being very outdated.
Original wife. Oh, BL. No.
There's the pink milk though. Well, it's mirrored. I can't see where I'm pointing.
Yeah. Heather posed a question: do we think the show didn't have more of the physical intimacy because of the time? I do think that played into it. Like, that's probably why we didn't have more kisses and stuff. But, like, I'm thinking of Lovesick, and I feel like even though they didn't kiss that much in that show, and, like, they did, like, one of those fake-out kisses with the filming and stuff. It still
felt intimate.
There was more affection between the characters, I feel like, not necessarily, like, kissing and stuff like that. Yeah. So, I think it's just the character of Artet did not.
I don't even think it's the character. I think it's Chris. Like, he just wasn't acting as if he was in a romantic relationship. He was acting as if he was hanging out with his bro.
Yeah.
Bros who share the same bed from time to time.
Yeah.
As bros often
Quite
do.
literally.
Quite literally. And that is how it felt like he viewed the relationship as Artet. But yeah, I mean, I definitely think that's why the show in general is probably more PG-13 rated in terms of content, because it was very early in the Thai BL realm. But I also think there's ways to, like, portray intimacy without necessarily having that physical intimacy included in, and I just don't think we got that. So.
I mean, if you look at, like, the Korean Where Your Eyes Linger, it's there's a lot of intimacy without it being explicit. Like, you can do it, but Chris is acting like he just doesn't want to be there, and he just, like, it's not a romance to him. No one told him it's a romance, right? That's the problem.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts that people have?
Yeah.
Before we drop a rating.
Just, I don't watch it. Just love it from afar. Love it as an oldie.
Yeah. I think if you really feel like you need to watch it, like Pixie said at the beginning, just, like, keep in mind the time period that it was made in. You know, there is, like, that kind of, like, there are people who want to watch, like, every BL and, like, you know, understand, like, where the genre came from. And so I think there is merit in watching it for that reason. But I think if you're viewing it as, like, a romance drama, you know, like, it didn't necessarily hit for me. I know there's people that really love it, and you know, their reasonings for it are valid, but like as a romance BL, it just like did not hold up for me. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I respect the show, like you guys said, in the sense that it literally made GMM TV what it is today.
Yeah.
With at the time, like Grammy was facing bankruptcy, and all of the merchandising around this show is what brought them out of the hole. So
Yeah. It
it's
is
like if
iconic.
it didn't exist, then will we have the stuff that we have today? Possibly
Probably
not.
Yeah.
But in terms of the actual story, I don't know. Like it is
Yeah.
really what we said. It was one for the times, and
Yeah.
now we've moved on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I genuinely enjoyed it when I was watching it back.
Oh,
in the
I
day.
loved it.
Yeah.
It was like my favorite.
2016
Genuinely
he was
was
eating
great.
that shit up.
It's
2023
not.
me,
Yeah.
not so much.
Yeah.
But I would be curious for people who do still have a lot of fondness for the show to kind of share their reasonings why, because like I'm like genuinely interested to know like what aspects of it still appeal to people and like how their opinions are different from ours. But yeah, so comment your thoughts down below. We'll listen to all of it. But before we wrap up, do we want to go through and give it a rating out of 5?
What is the rating based on? Do we base it on back in the day, or do we base it on right now?
That's difficult.
Because
I mean, I
those two
feel
are
like-
different.
Yeah. Back in the day, me would have rated it so much higher.
Yeah.
But now I was thinking of giving it like a 2. Just for
Yeah.
like the historical factor. I'm talking
Yeah.
about it like it's some artifact from 1905, but it
It's
was released in
vintage.
2016. Vintage
Might as
2016
well be.
vintage media.
Yeah. I mean, back in the day, it's a 4. Right now, I agree. It's a 2.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna compare it to modern BLs.
Oh.
I think I'll be a little more generous and give it a 3 because of all the characters that aren't Arctic. Like all of those characters were so distinct, so good. Their friendships and relationships to each other, like all that is really good. But the romance aspect, like we said, is just not there. At least not in the way that it is in current BLs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it for our review of SOTUS. This one will be going up on YouTube right away since it was for our streamathon. So be sure to comment down below and let us know your thoughts about the series, what you've liked, what you've disliked, if it stood the test of time for you guys, and feel free to give us your ratings out of 5. We'll be looking to see what everyone's thoughts on it were. And if you're interested in seeing our reviews more routinely to some degree, we do monthly reviews on Patreon. So our patrons get to vote on them. They go up on Patreon first and then get released to the public a month later. So if you're interested in helping to pick what kind of shows we're reviewing in the future, you can join our Patreon at the Lovecaster tier and up and help us vote on those. We've got other cool content that we're planning to start doing over on Patreon as well. So by the time this comes out, you might see some of that over there as well. Be sure to check it out. And thank you. I feel like because this is from our streamathon, I have to say thank you again, even though that was like 2 months ago, for helping us hit our goal. We're currently planning for Thailand. So, this was part of that streamathon. So again, thank you to everyone who helped out with that and voted for us and voted for this poll and everything like that. So yeah, I think I covered all my bases. So we will see you guys in the next review. Bye bye.